Good morning, my dear friends. My name is Sarita. Welcome back to my channel. I've got my coffee here, and I have a really sweet single candle for you here today from Village Candle, actually. And in my opinion, the most successful candle that I've burned from Village so far. And I think has a little bit of a following. This is considered, I think, one of their better candles. And gosh, now I know why. So the candle in question is Rain. And because it doesn't have, and I have a little mini here because these kind of sizes of candles are my jam. I can get through a lot of candles like this, those huge tumblers. God bless. If you don't have that many candles in your house, you don't have a candle channel, you're not trying to get through like a ton of things, those large apothecaries are great. Otherwise, you really need a smaller candle. And honestly, I can't remember where I got this one. I think I got this one from Village. So I got it from Stonewall Home, who now owns Village Candle up in Maine. And I did do several large orders with Stonewall Home over the last like year or 2 years. And I think this was probably in it. I do have a lovely grocery store that's a little on the bougie side here in Virginia. And they sell a good number of Village candles, and they do sell this one as well. So I was thinking to myself, did I buy this at that grocery store? But no, I don't think I did. I always, every time I'm there, I'm like, do you have your candles on sale? I might need to get some Village. They have like a ton of Village. All right, so anyway, Village candle Rain, and the color was this lovely blue color, and it's kind of hard to tell now, but they still have kind of the photorealistic labels, and I don't know if you can kind of see that, but it's like a little silhouette of a couple standing in the rain. And the larger apothecary just has like the label in the front, and the top notes on this candle, which they've put on the label, are fresh rain, bergamot, lily, and amber. This is a lovely candle, and it performed very well. So this is a 2-wick. I burned it all the way down to the wick clips. Oh, I mean, so good that like I would think about entering this into like my spring Hall of Fame, because spring is just kind of the moment for rain, I think. Although you can have rain obviously at other times in the year. Oh, if this doesn't smell like March, I don't know what does. With the lily, with the rose, there is rose in this as well. And with the bergamot and the amber, it does give a little bit of a floral and perfumey quality that makes it a little sweeter than you might expect from just a true aquatic candle. And usually that would turn me off, but it's just blended so well in this candle, so well. And there's still kind of a freshness and an ingenue quality about it that feels very like early spring rain, that makes it not heavy floral or heavy perfumey. It's just kind of perfect. So it is kind of like a conceptual rain scent, but there is an enormous amount of aquatic in it, that really does make it a truly like aquatic rain candle. It's just a very refined rain candle. So they actually do have an extensive scent list here. The top notes are watery rain accord and sparkling bergamot. Mid-range is white rose, water lily, and crisp lavender. Base notes are white amber. And we've talked about this before, whenever there's like a white anything, but certainly a white amber note, I think it might be a little bit of a fantasy note. The white aspect of it, think of like white pumpkin, for instance. It's communicating that it's an amber that's not heavy and that's like lighter, sits higher up in the range, etc. More subtle, a more subtle sibling of the original one or whatever else. So as you can see, you've got the bergamot, you've got florals represented there as in rose and water lily. Yeah, I think that that's right, actually. Because the aquatic here is just so loud, all of the florals are kind of transformed into this like lotus-like kind of floral. They're like drowning in water. But I do think that when I smell deep, it is probably rose and lily. Yeah. They're just so aquatic because they're under the water, you know? So it's a good amount of floral, but because of the water, and because of probably some amount of, what is it? Is it benzoin? What is the note that like gives you the after rain smell? Maybe it starts with an O. Oh my gosh, I should have like researched it before. There is a certain fragrance note that they can apply that is very reminiscent of like the sogginess after a rain. It's got all these minerals in it because when it rains, the minerals come up from the earth and it just kind of gives this quality. Ozone fragrances will have some of that in it too. But yeah, this one definitely has that for sure. And then the aquatic note here is, so it's definitely warmed with the bergamot and the amber. And it's giving it kind of a brininess. Now, I don't know if the aquatic note itself is briny. And it may just be that the aquatic note with the minerals along with the amber and the bergamot are making it a little bit more salty than it usually would be. But I could easily see somebody smelling this and being like, this smells like the ocean a little bit. Rather than just like, you know, a regular rainy experience for those of us who unfortunately don't live near a major ocean coast. But it's really amazing. It's an amazing, amazing candle. And I do think that whether the saltiness is kind of like an impression and a projection, or whether or not the saltiness is there, the salty aquatic really cuts a lot of the really sweet aspect of the floral. They just balance perfectly. I mean, it's a truly almost perfectly balanced candle. It's a rain conceptual and I am here for it. The performance was chef's kiss. I put it here in the open concept, and then I also put it in the back bedroom for a lot of its existence, just because for some reason it just felt like it came into its own in the back, you know, master bathroom, master bedroom. It was like an oasis back there, and I really appreciated it there. But it could stand up to the open concept fine. Probably in the open concept, it was at a 6.5 or a 7. In the back bedroom, it was definitely a 7, if not a 7.5. So it really performed very well with the 2 wicks. Ooh, yeah, it's just a really nice candle, a very successful candle, and I completely understand why it is that this has a following and so many people love it. Like I said, I would very much be interested in like burning this every spring. The Jasmine Rain from Homeworks, very similar, although Jasmine Rain doesn't have as much of the perfumey qualities to it and is pretty much just kind of a stripped down aquatic and jasmine, which is amazing. This is a much more like perfumey conceptual take on Rain, but still really gorgeous and has an amazing amount of authenticity given that it's got that amber and bergamot kind of profile. There are a couple candles from Bath & Body Works that seem awfully similar to me, and they're fairly recent. Salted Amber Vetiver and You, Me, in the Sea. So if you're a fan of either of these candles, I think you're going to be a big fan of Rain from Village. Salted Amber and Vetiver. Ooh, man, that's good. Man, that's good. This one is a little bit more stripped down than the Salted Amber and Vetiver. So the Salted Amber and Vetiver has a more pronounced bergamot, I think, and a more pronounced amber. So this is much more of a perfume conceptual with aquatic overtones, whereas this one is kind of an aquatic perfume conceptual. It's much more aquatic, and it's a lighter touch with the amber and the bergamot. This one does have floral in it, I think. It says fresh orange flower, but much more subdued on the orange flower. So this for me is a much truer perfume conceptual with floral aquatic overtones. So fantastic. Whereas this one is a little bit more, like I said, a little more pure, a little lighter on the perfume, which I appreciate. So, but it's very similar to Salted Amber and Vetiver. Oh, man, this candle is great too. You, Me, and the Sea. Man, this one better come back. It really better come back. I think this was like a best new candle this year. All right, You, Me, and the Sea. So this one is more floral. You, Me, and the Sea doesn't have a whole lot of, well, I take that back. There is a floral in here. It's like a lotus or a white floral. What does it say here? Blue orchid. Well, orchids don't really have any pronounced. So interesting what this floral is. I would say jasmine. Like, it definitely is a white floral, but there is something very, very fresh and fruity. It's got a fruity finish. I don't know what floral it is. I feel like my lack of botanical knowledge is kind of like failing me here. It's got a like pepperiness a little bit too. And either the peppery is added or the pepperiness is in the white floral. So a lot of white florals, especially the really big loud ones, will have an almost animalic, like musk and black pepper feel to them. I love it when they do that because I think it cuts a lot of what is often a very heavy sweetness. So it does kind of have that black pepper nature to it and a very fresh fruitiness, but it's not a heavy white floral that you would kind of expect from a jasmine or a gardenia or a magnolia or something like that. It is kind of very white lotusy, but it could also be, as with the rain one, where it's just like, it's just a regular or standard white floral that's like drowned in aquatic notes. It may be a white floral with an inclusion of some amount of fruit. Like a pear note. Or a citrus note, but not like a high sparkling one, like a really true citrus one. It says fresh eucalyptus and salt water. This is one of those candles where like the scent notes didn't really help you a whole lot. Man, it's a complex, just amazing fragrance. Oh, both of these are good. Both of these are best new candles. And I think I was complaining last year about how Bath & Body Works didn't have good aquatics. Oh, these are amazing. Honestly, any candle company would kill for these kinds of fragrances. Kringle, I see you. Have you smelled these? Yeah. These are amazing. Actually, this one is very similar to a Kringle candle, Somerset. Somerset is one of my favorite candles by Kringle, and this is very similar to Somerset. almost enough to be a dupe. It just sits a little higher and is a little bit brighter and more sparkling, whereas Somerset sits a little bit lower and has a heavier portion of like creamy sandalwood in it. Oh, I love both of them. I love both of them. But yes, these are sophisticated enough to be like bougie candles that you spend an enormous amount of money on. Those are incredible. But this one sits right in the middle here. This Rain one, and in many ways is lighter and fresher and more stripped down than both of these other two. But certainly within the same kind of vibe. And because it's lighter and fresher, I think it's especially good in like an early spring. I just do. I think it's fantastic. I think all three are fantastic, and I will absolutely buy all three again. I will buy Rain from Village again, 100%. Like I said, I really would not mind burning that every year. Homeworks Jasmine Rain included. Salted Amber and Vetiver and You Me the Sea are a little bit more robust, a little bit heavier than the Rain from Village. But because of that, they actually are a little bit more versatile into other seasons, like summer, for instance. There's just a more, I don't know, there's a more developed nature to them. They're like perfume conceptuals. They're grown up. Like it's not an intimate, like fresh stripped down kind of thing. I mean, you could burn it at any time, obviously, but yeah. So that's what I've got for you guys. Highly recommend all three, no question. You can get Salted Amber and Vetiver right now at Bath & Body Works. So they just dropped it in one of their like late summer waves, which is how they did it last year too when they introduced it for the first time. It's in different packaging. It's not this lovely blue anymore, which I'm kind of like, It's an okay label and it's still in the neutrals line. It's just like this color was perfect for this fragrance. But yes, Salted Amber and Vetiver is on the floor currently. So when there's another sale for Bath & Body Works, to definitely get that one. It's so great here in the summer and maybe even as a transition from summer to fall. It's a fantastic candle, fantastic. So you can get that one. You Me in the Sea, it's been clearanced off for semi-annual sale. So if you're lucky, you still have a brick and mortar store where you can get this for 75% off. Oh my gosh, for 75% off, I would buy like 5 of them, no question. In my travels with the semi-annual sale, I found there were a few stores that had You Me in the Sea, but really a few. Like I could count them on 2 fingers, maybe 3, you know. Everybody had Gwen's Note, which is just, it infuriates me. Still stacks of Gwen's Notes, stacks of Anna's Garden as well. But honestly, there's more Gwen's Note than there is Anna's Garden, which I can kind of understand because Anna's Garden was just kind of more of a, it was a white floral. It was a white floral, like orange blossom with some jasmine overtones, some botanical, you know, that kind of thing. So in many ways, like less, I think, brilliant and less complex as You Me in the Sea and Gwen's Note was. So I get that. I mean, there's an aspect of You Me in the Sea and Gwen's Note that's a little nichey, but not that nichey. Come on, folks. Come on. You might find You Me in the Sea, but especially now that it's gone to 75% off, I think it's a little unlikely. Gwen's Note will still be available, so why don't you pick up Gwen's Note? For what is it? $5? Come on, come on. And Village is absolutely available. I mean, I think this is one of those candles that they just stock year round, understandably enough. I looked on the website. They've got, unfortunately, they don't have it right now in this size, which is a shame. Guys, stop discontinuing mediums. Stop. They do have the large apothecary tumbler, and it's got 2 wicks. So it's not the 1 wick that Yankee has. It's 2 wicks, which is great. And it's only like $21.95. Like, that's the sticker price. So considerably less. And it doesn't say that it's a sale. So is that just the sticker price? It's considerably less than Yankee Candle at this point, let alone Kringle. $21.95 for like a regular priced large apothecary. That's a really fantastic. Yes, it is paraffin for those of you who don't burn paraffin. They also pour it in, right now they have a like Bath and Body Works style 3-wick, which would also be fantastic. It's like a cute wraparound with boats on it. And it's supposed to be a luminary, which is to say that probably the boats are like transparent and the light will come through them or something. I don't know. They also have it in a much more sophisticated looking, also bowl style that is a mercury glass, a silver mercury glass one. And that one is 13 ounces, so 1 ounce less. I think that the luminary wraparound was $17.95 and the mercury glass was $19.99, $19.95, whatever, something like that, yeah? I think they're very reasonable prices. Now, the caveat is that you probably have to order them. And the shipping right now from Stonewall Home is completely unreasonable. So a couple years ago when I was ordering from Stonewall Home, they ran a lot of sales that were like free shipping 25 and over. 25. I remember those sales. 25 and over free shipping, $25. It was usually $50 and over free shipping, which is also extremely reasonable. It's very easy to get up to that $50 price point. And Bath and Body Works, when they do free shipping promotions, it's usually a $50 price point when they do that. I think it's because the prices and inflation have just ruined. And I heard this from Mitch, when Mitch Kittredge from Kringle was doing a live, he talked about the shipping and he's like, look, like, it costs us an arm and a leg to send you a box of candles now. Like, it's crazy. Like $50, $60, $70 to ship you a box of candles. So that's why we've had to start charging you guys. Like even $7.95 is like just barely subsidizing what it is that we have to pay for shipping. And I completely get that. I've heard complaints from a lot of small businesses. The shipping prices have just like gone crazy over the last 2 years. And all of my small companies, like it's been a spate of like regular emails every 6 months being like, I'm sorry, we have to increase our like shipping fees again. And as frustrating as that is for the consumer, like I don't think we have any sense of how much it costs these companies to ship things to us. And we've become desensitized because of Amazon, you know? We just assume like whatever it is on Amazon, they'll send it to us for free in 24 hours, you know? God bless. I don't know how Amazon does it. Like they work some sort of magic. And obviously they're losing money on certain kinds of things that they ship. There's just no question. Some of these other companies can't eat those costs though the way that Amazon does. All right, close parentheses. I think right now the shipping at Stonewall Home is free over $79, which I mean for many people, like you have to be a little bit more thoughtful and you have to kind of fill a cart over a few months. It's not something where you just kind of shop all the time. Stonewall also used to offer a lot more sales than they did on candles. So within the last like year and a half, they've really dropped a lot of their candle promotions. So I get it, we're all tightening our belts everywhere, but literally yesterday I was just thinking to myself, I really want to do an order with Stonewall Home. What is the shipping again? It's $79, okay. Surely they're gonna come out with fall candles here. Surely the next promotion, I'm gonna pull the trigger on it. I need $80 worth of things. Anyway, close parentheses on that too. Please keep this in mind if you're interested in buying something from Village Candle. And if you're lucky like me and you have some sort of brick and mortar store, a paper, store, or like some bougie boutique store or a bougie grocery store where they sell Village candles. And I think you have a much better chance of that if you're in the New Englandish East Coast area. You might be able to smell it smell it in person and be able to buy it just by itself and not ship it. But I highly recommend it. They do offer them on Amazon as well, but the price on Amazon is considerably elevated because I think they're accounting for shipping. But I'll go ahead and link that down below too, because if you just want one rather than like $80 worth of candles, you might be willing to pay a little bit of a premium just to get that one. And I totally get that. Highly recommend it. Worth getting the one, if you know what I mean. And it performed well. And apparently it's been performing well for like decades. So it's a pretty good bet to recommend, and I do. And I also recommend those other two Bath & Body Works that are so fantastic. Yes. Oh, it makes my heart so happy when the companies do it well. You know what I mean? I don't care who you are. Bath & Body Works, Village, Kringle, Yankee, like Homeworks, just give me a good candle, right? Give me a good, I'm sure all of you feel the same. Give me a good candle. Yeah. All right. That's what I've got for you guys. This ended up being a much longer video than I thought it was going to, but that's pretty much all of my videos. So I hope you like longer form. Really good to see you here. And I've still got other videos that I need to do for 100%. I even have a couple hauls from when I was in Columbus that I need to do, including the one with the vintage Bath & Body Works candles. So I'm really excited about that one. Stay tuned. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.